Support WrestleTalk!
Thanks for your amazing support on Patreon. Let's have a drink, Christopher Travers Merryman! Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk MECHAnews! I am Luke Owen. Have yourself a super click party by giving us a subscribe and pressing the thumbs up. I've got it this time, Oh no, ow, and I pulled something. And leave a comment down below to answer our question of the day. Which wrestler would you cast in a superhero movie? We've got a packed show of news for you today, including AEW's interest in Dean Ambrose, surprising news about their possible TV deal, and the original plans for Enzo and Cass in Ring of Honor, and how they've shaken up the backstage scene. But first, there are some really big movies coming out in 2019, from Avengers Endgame to Godzilla King of Monsters to Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker. And the trailer for one of the most hotly anticipated films was released yesterday, the Orion remake of Child's Play. The trailer not only showed off a new origin story for Chucky, but also Mark Hamill's voice of the iconic character and, sorry, wait, what? Oh, you mean the other hotly anticipated film of 2019? Yeah, the one with the wrestler in it. Yeah, I suppose that would make more sense. The new trailer for Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs & Shaw was released yesterday, which showed Hollywood powerhouse The Rock team with Jason Statham to take on Idris Elba in a battle to save the world. Weren't these films originally about street racing? But more importantly, this trailer gave us our first look at Roman Reigns in the film. The newest SmackDown signee will play the brother of The Rock in Hobbs & Shaw and looks to actually be involved in the film's climax. And Roman Reigns wasn't the only wrestler in the movie news this week, with Variety reporting that John Cena is in line to star in James Gunn's sequel/reboot, The Suicide Squad, which will see Margot Robbie and Jai Courtney return to play Harley Quinn and Boomerang respectively, with Idris Elba joining the cast in an unknown role. Interestingly, Variety's Justin Kroll added on Twitter that the role Cena is up for was originally lined for Batista, but he pulled out due to scheduling conflicts. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait for that Cena-Batista team-up movie, which has got to happen one day, right? And despite still being classed as a free agent, John Cena was not drafted to either Raw or SmackDown in the 2019 Superstar Shakeup, which saw Reigns jump to SmackDown, AJ Styles join Raw, Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor head to the Blue brand, and more groundbreakingly, Eric Young way in the back of this Raw graphic. Look, there he is. Hi, Eric. One name that had been heavily speculated to be joining the main roster was Pete Dunne, particularly after this year's draft was originally called the International Superstar Shakeup, and after Dunne lost his United Kingdom Championship to Walter at NXT TakeOver New York. Triple H has even said in the past that Dunne is a future WWE champion, saying there aren't many with a future brighter than him. And according to Dave Meltzer in the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, the reason Dunne and former United Kingdom champion Tyler Bate were not called up to the main roster was because WWE felt they were more valuable in establishing the NXT UK brand, with Meltzer even speculating that Vince wouldn't have pushed them anyway due to their size and promo skills. And speaking of wrestlers on the British independent scene, segue, Progress announced yesterday that Jimmy Havoc will have his final match for the promotion on day 3 of Strong Style 16, calling it the end of an era. Havoc was recently announced to be joining All Elite Wrestling, and he tweeted of his Progress match, not gonna lie, getting a bit emotional about this one. And if you're not gonna be around for Strong Style 16, you might be able to bid farewell to the man himself in person if you come to WrestleTalk's screening of Ready to Rumble at the Prince Charles Cinema on May 7th, with the PCC inviting Havoc to celebrate his run in Progress by coming to the screening. And not only will we be showing Ready to Rumble, we'll also be recording a live Wrestle Ramble podcast afterwards, discussing David Arquette's wrestling career in WCW, WWE, and his resurgence on the indies in the last year. We've got some other surprises lined up, so get your tickets to see WrestleTalk live by clicking the link in the video description below. And Havoc's newest employees, All Elite Wrestling, have had some interesting news about their potential TV deal. Since the promotion's announcement in January earlier this year, there has been a lot of talk of a TV deal in the works for AEW. In the last couple of weeks, it's come to light that All Elite Wrestling is likely heading to Turner to either air on TBS or TNT, the former home of WCW Monday Nitro back in the 90s. This came from a report by The Wrap, who said that Turner would be presenting All Elite Wrestling to media advertisers next month on May 15th, but added that nothing was official and no deal had been signed as of yet. Dave Meltzer and the Fight Oracle Oracle also backed up this report, with Meltzer adding the show would be a 2-hour live broadcast in a primetime position starting in October. But he did refute the Wrap's report that AEW could have an off-season. Tony Maglio of the Wrap recently featured on 411 Mania's wrestling interview series to discuss AEW, where he revealed a very interesting new tidbit about the deal. According to Maglio, my understanding, based on the people I've spoken to, is that it would be more AEW paying for its time on TNT rather than Turner paying AEW for its show. The truth is, when you're talking to Turner, they're a very well-established, very well-off company inside a gigantic parent company. AEW is not UFC, it's not WWE, it's not MLB, and I think currently AEW has way more to prove than Turner has in terms of trying to get them to come to their networks. I think AEW needs this deal more than Turner does. Dave Meltzer has since refuted this claim on the Wrestling Observer message boards, writing, "Time Buy is false, it's the exact opposite. Look at sports rights, Bellator, Matchroom, UFC on ESPN. People are offering tons of money both for weekly live programming and also to get their streaming services starting." For what it's worth, Voices of Wrestling are also reporting that AEW is not paying to get on Turner. WrestleTalk.com revealed last week that the Turner deal is still the most likely one, but there is still a decision to be made about which channel it's going to air on, saying it all hinges on the roster of talent they can get, adding that it comes down to if they can get a big enough roster of wrestlers and enough recognizable ones. Which is certainly interesting when it comes to a tweet from former Impact World Champion Austin Aries, who posted what looks to be a contract with the caption "Signed, sealed, delivered, Vegas just hit the jackpot." The reason this is interesting is Las Vegas will be the home of All Elite Wrestling's first official show, Double or Nothing, which takes place on May 25th from the MGM Grand Arena. The show will also see the Young Bucks defend their AAA Tag Team Championships against the Lucha Brothers, Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho, Dr. Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose versus Kylie Ray, and Adam Page versus Pac. And last week, AEW announced Fighter Festival for June, which will see Omega team with the Young Bucks to take on Pac and the Lucha Brothers, as well as Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin. And following that will be AEW's Jacksonville show Fight for the Fallen, with a portion of the proceeds going to victims of gun violence. And the promotion announced 2 matches for the show this week, with Brandy Rhodes taking on former Impact Knockout champion Ali and Kenny Omega facing CIMA. But could there be another big name joining the All Elite Wrestling ranks? Following the 2019 Royal Rumble, Pro Wrestling Torch reported that Dean Ambrose had decided not to re-sign his WWE contract and would be leaving when it expires at the end of April. While many thought this was some sort of worked storyline, it appears to be very, very real, with WWE advertising Ambrose's final match on the Raw after Mania, Ambrose saying his final farewell to the crowd at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and the final chapter of The Shield airing this Sunday on the WWE Network as they're broadcasting a house show match of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Ambrose teaming one last time to take on the formidable, unbreakable Baron Corbin mid-card of evil. As mentioned earlier in this news episode, one of the reported reasons that All Elite Wrestling's deal with Turner has not been finalized yet is because AEW need more recognizable names on their roster than they already do. Along with Austin Aries teasing a signing, there has been some speculation about Dean Ambrose jumping over to All Elite Wrestling once his WWE contract comes to an end. However, Dave Meltzer has noted in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that although All Elite Wrestling would like him, he writes, "We've heard nothing in that direction." Names that won't likely be joining the All Elite Wrestling ranks, however, are Enzo and Big Cass, who are now going by the names Enzo and CAZXL. The duo made an appearance at Ring of Honor and New Japan's joint G1 Supercard from Madison Square Garden over WrestleMania weekend in an angle that was supposed to appear like a shoot. The G1 Supercard seems to have had quite an impact on Ring of Honor backstage. The show was overall well received by fans, though our WrestleTalk Super Chat was just filled with people wanting to talk about the WWE Hall of Fame. And it had great matches like Kazuchika Kurokawa versus Jay White, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kota Ibushi versus Tetsuya Naito, and the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship 3-way that all got rave reviews. However, all those matches came from the New Japan portion of the show, with pretty much all the Ring of Honor segments like Mega Ran, the 6-man street fight, Dalton Castle turning heel, the debut of the Beautiful People, people, who rebranded themselves as Allure with Mandy Leone, and the Enzo and CAZXL segments not being overly praised. Fightful are now reporting that there has been a shift of power in the backstage creative for Ring of Honor, with Sean Ross Sapp writing that Joey Mercury has gained a lot of influence along with Bully Ray, while longtime creative leader Delirious's input has decreased. Sapp reports those that we spoke to expected this to accelerate as time moves on, adding that the changes can already be seen with Enzo, CAZXL, and the beautiful people being brought in. And despite no one from the New Japan side of the G1 Supercard event reportedly knowing about the Enzo and CAZXL spot taking place ahead of time, it did gain some social media traction. However, neither man were at the most recent set of Ring of Honor TV tapings, and Dave Meltzer has now reported that they're not being booked for anything else moving forward. Meltzer reports there were key people very upset with the G1 segment internally, and there was internal divisiveness whether to do it, adding right now there are no plans to bring them back, but there are also different people with different viewpoints involved with creative, and it's not clear how the wind will blow. Meltzer reports that the original plan for the angle was just to see Enzo grab Mark Briscoe, and for Mark to push him off, playing off when Enzo legit tried to hijack Survivor Series last year. Security would then cart him away and make it look very real. The idea being that if there was some buzz, then they could follow it up with another angle. But if it was received negatively, they could just sweep it under the rug as they didn't film it anyway. Instead, a larger brawl broke out, and that might have led to Enzo and CAZXL not being booked by the promotion again due to how poorly the angle was received by fans. Thank you for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon pledge hammers, some of which you can see scrolling their way into my stomach. Watch myself and other WrestleTalkers play Smash Bros. Ultimate with Joker by clicking the video over there, and get your tickets to see WrestleTalk live in May by clicking that little image. I've been Luke Owen, and that was Mecha News.